This will be very dangerous for you.
Look, I've always been more curious than cautious.
I like all the heroes, but can you tell me about Thor?
I know you want to hear about Thor, but first, you have to suffer through the Hulk like the rest of us did.
No! No! No!
It's okay.
Just make it good.
The Hulk as a person is really Bruce Banner, and he was a scientist that was trying to copy the super soldier serum from Captain America.
He thought he was working on radiation resistance. I would never have told him what the project really was.
Couldn't they just use Steve's blood or something?
Any hope of reproducing the program is locked in your genetic code. But without Dr. Erskine, it would take years.
At this point, they haven't found him yet. So they think that they have the serum figured out, but they used gamma rays to make this batch instead of Vita rays.
What?
And it doesn't go too well for Bruce.
Why would they change that?
You'd think that they'd be consistent on the things that they know that they used back then, but technology gets a little bit better. So the gamma rays are kind of like using a microwave to make pizza rolls instead of an oven. The results still get you there, but it's not going to be quite as good.
An oversimplification, but yes.
So when the serum works for Bruce, he only gets big when he gets emotional, so his powers kind of work like Captain Marvel's. And the first time it happens, he ends up hurting his girlfriend Betty,
It's okay.
who happens to be a general's daughter, and General Ross does not take it well.
I should say so.
He sends the whole army after him, and that's where we meet up with him, a couple years later in Brazil.
You don't understand a word I'm saying.
He's working on controlling his emotions by meditating and learning martial arts.
So to keep from getting angry, he has somebody punch him in the face?
Well, this area isn't very nice, so people might not even notice the damage he makes as the Hulk.
We've got to destroy it.
Who's we?
Well, Bruce just wants to go back to normal so he can get back together with Betty, who everyone forgets is a doctor.
Ah, Dr. Ross.
But he has to learn to control it because he works with this one troll who thinks he runs the place.
It's the most powerful thing I've ever seen.
And he must have never come in contact with a mirror because he's got a really big ego for somebody who looks like they live under a bridge.
You should talk.
He knows it's just a matter of time before the troll upsets him, so he's trying to find a cure.
You don't understand the power of this thing. It is too dangerous. It cannot be controlled.
He's talking to this guy in New York, and they're down to trying hippie herbal crap to try to change him back.
We have the antidote now.
But nothing has worked, and now Mr. Blue wants to meet. He cuts his finger repairing this machine, and he gets blood on some bottles. He stops the machine and goes down to clean it up,
You've done a good job.
but he misses a bottle. Well, the bottle travels all the way to Milwaukee, where some guy gets gamma sickness from drinking the soda.
Wow.
General Ross is able to track the soda all the way back to the factory, so they go after Bruce.
You don't understand. Something really bad is about to happen here.
They hire this guy Blomsky to track him down, and you know he's a badass because all the other guys have to put on sunglasses to even look at him, and his helicopter shoots fire.
They say the Navy makes men. Well, I'm living proof they made me.
You're gonna have a lot of professional tough guys pissing in their pants.
Blomsky and the other army guys figure out where Bruce lives, and they break in. Luckily, his dog warned him, and he got out in time. But he also had enough time to make a dummy like he was sneaking out of his parents' house in high school.
You bang.
Blomsky then shows how evil he is by shooting the dog.
That butthole.
Well, they're just tranquilizers,
He's fine.
It's okay.
It's fantastic.
but they are dosed to take down a human, so yeah, that dog's probably dead.
Please no, please.
When he climbed out his window, the apartment downstairs just happens to be the apartment of the girl he helped out earlier.
Very nice. You see her? She's very pretty.
And she lets him stay until the soldiers leave. But instead of going the opposite direction, he kind of follows them.
Wait, what?
But they've stopped, and they notice him right away. Even though it was the middle of the night and they had to be super quiet when they showed up, the chase happens when everyone is awake and the streets are full of people. I guess all of Brazil has the same alarm clock.
Oh, you're kidding me.
He outruns them for I guess the whole day because it's dark again when he runs into the trolls, and they want to beat him up because he cockblocked Grandpa Troll earlier.
I know a few techniques could help you manage that anger.
What's a cock block?
Grandpa Troll was trying to get Martina to go and eat chicken with him, and Bruce interrupted him asking her out.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, they follow him into the factory and they want to fight him. The army sees the trolls entering the factory and they follow after them. The trolls find out what Bruce really is.
Well, you know.
The army watches them attack the trolls, but we see that they're unprepared for the Hulk too. The Hulk just throws them around like rag dolls. Even though these soldiers are supposed to be the best of the best, the Hulk scares him so much that this guy forgets how to turn.
So Ross didn't tell him about the Hulk?
They were supposed to tranquilize Bruce while he was asleep, not take on the Hulk. Blomsky watches him fight, and now he wants to be like him too.
That's why you didn't die.
He calls Ross out for not preparing them for the mission.
You get a hold of yourself, young man.
And Ross responds with giving him an injection of the serum.
Let him have all of it.
Bruce wakes up over 3,000 miles away in Guatemala with pants that have seen better days, and he buys new ones.
What is that?
Bruce finally gets back to Virginia, where he breaks into his old lab to get some data that Mr. Blue needs to help him find a cure. Security is beefed up, but security guards always let pizza guys through, so he visits his old friend Albert Einstein, who owns a pizzeria, to get a disguise. He goes all out with it too, and even kinda rides a bicycle on campus to deliver it.
The circumstances called for a little improvisation.
He goes up to the lab, where we see nerds like pizza too. Unfortunately, the data he needs is gone.
You've gotta be kidding me.
But luckily that night, his ex-girlfriend shows up to the pizza place and makes the old man cook for her after he's closed.
Come on, Stan, it's Friday night.
She sees Bruce and ditches her new boyfriend to chase after him. I guess Bruce totally forgot that she was his partner on trying to figure out the serum.
It's okay.
So instead of talking to her and getting the data he needs, he hides in the trash instead. And she makes Albert Einstein tell her what's going on.
Please, just tell me the truth.
I got nothing but marinara now.
She drives all over to find him, and I'm hoping she dumped the new guy because she is clearly not over Bruce.
Where does she meet these guys?
Luckily, she remembered to back up all the information onto a flash drive. But she has no questions whatsoever about anything that's happened to him after he turned into a huge green monster and almost murdered her and all their coworkers.
It's okay.
She's more concerned on whether he has enough pillows.
You have everything you need.
And then lays in bed wanting Hulk to smash.
I don't know what you've got inside you already.
The next morning, they stupidly go on campus where the army would be looking for them. And sure enough, they're ready to ambush.
Fall back!
Ross brought the whole army with tanks and everything. They find out where Bruce is and launch some gas so that way they can hope to knock him out. But that just makes him angry and turns him into the Hulk.
Are you out of your mind?
I think they're just giving up on tranquilizers because they open fire on a college campus.
Where are the 50 cals? Move your asses!
Their tiny guns won't work, so they try to hit him with a car. There's some artwork that's conveniently placed for the Hulk to use as weapons, and Blomsky thinks that since he has the super serum, that his tiny gun will work where the tanks have failed. Blomsky goes back to shooting him, but when that doesn't work, he tries to fight him one-on-one. He lures the Hulk to these sonar guns, but the Hulk breaks those. And Blomsky.
It's okay.
A gunship shoots at him, even though Ross's daughter is in the line of fire, and they're on a college campus that's currently in session. The Hulk blows it up and runs away with Betty.
Get her back here!
We find out it was Betty's boyfriend who told the general.
Sounds like he's Betty off without her.
Right? After all that she's seen, him hospitalizing her, him killing a bunch of soldiers, him trying to fight Thunder, she still wants to help him.
We're not strolling into the park for a picnic here.
The next morning, Bruce is back to normal, and they get a hotel room where she kisses him, even though she's still dating the other guy.
He did tell on him.
Shut up, she doesn't know that.
Zip it.
But his heart rate goes up and kind of kills the mood.
It's okay.
Blomsky wakes up in better condition than he was when we last saw him.
Does anybody want to talk about what went down in there?
Well, the Army and S.H.I.E.L.D. are tracking emails with the names Mr. Blue and Mr. Green in them, so they're gonna find a bunch of elementary school kids' homework, anything about the game Clue, and this one email that Bruce types with both names in it.
Well, my lip gloss, can they track that?
They track Mr. Blue down to be this guy Samuel Stearns, a professor in New York. You'd think that they wouldn't want to leave a trail. I mean, Bruce had to have known who Mr. Blue was before he emailed him. It's not like he went on Ask Reddit and asked, how do I stop turning into a giant green monster? And some random guy's like, inject yourself with some flowers. And he just listened and became friends with him. Plus, he knows where he is because he sent him some blood. Anyway, Bruce is headed there to meet him. On the way, the Harvard grad finally starts asking some questions about what's going on.
Are you okay?
Well, they have to sneak into New York because of a police checkpoint Ross set up, instead of just staking out Mr. Blue's place.
You have to explain.
After the second dosage of the serum, Blomsky starts showing signs of anorexia. They prepare to storm Mr. Blue's apartment, but allow them enough time to run an experiment.
Wait. We can't do this.
So,
You mean it could kill him?
I don't know. So, are we gonna do this?
These will protect you.
This will be very dangerous for you.
It's okay, I want to.
What's the matter, baby? You don't like a good ride?
Look alive, this could get interesting.
We have begun.
Anybody else seeing this?
Bruce, look at me. Look in my eyes.
My God, he's doing it.
Please look in my eyes.
Never seen anything like it outside of a racehorse.
We set to potty.
Wait, there's more. I have done this before, you know.
The mixture could be an abomination.
That was the most extraordinary thing I have seen in my entire life.
This is a whole new level of weird.
Okay, you know what? Stop, please. We need to go back and talk about what just happened in there.
Absolutely. Okay.
We also find out that Mr. Blue's been replicating Bruce's blood, but somehow he's still using machines that he needs to kick to start. Ross, Blomsky, and the army show up on campus and are fully ready to go on an all-out war without even clearing out the civilians.
It's okay.
Mr. Blue wants to use Bruce's blood to cure diseases, but Bruce wants it all destroyed. They manage to tranquilize Bruce
It's okay.
and get him onto a helicopter, but Blomsky wants Mr. Blue to inject him with Bruce's blood so he can become like the Hulk. He does, and Blomsky becomes the Abomination. During his transformation, he knocks over Mr. Blue.
Why are you always hitting people?
And he gets some of Bruce's blood in an open wound, and you can see some things that are going on with his head that apparently he really likes. The Abomination starts breaking everything in sight. Ross hears about the attack on the city and turns the helicopter around.
Tell them to bring everything they've got and head for Harlem. We're looking for a white man.
I thought he took the antidote.
Well, the tranquilizers didn't last so long, so he thinks the Hulk must still be in there. Bruce decides to jump out of the helicopter to turn into the Hulk.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And we're supposed to be worried? They're not going to kill the main character before he fights the bad guy.
So he jumps, and not only does he transform, but we find out that his pants really are that stretchy.
They were the stretchiest pair they had.
The Abomination wants to fight the Hulk to see who's the strongest. The two of them fight and tear up buildings while Ross opens fire on Blomsky, and they must have a pretty good pilot flying the helicopter because he manages to miss most of the buildings while they hang from the part of the helicopter that, well, people hang from. But they do end up crashing, and even though everyone else dies, the Ross family only have minor cuts.
It's okay.
The fuel from the crash ignites, but the Hulk gives Betty the clap, and the flame goes out. The Hulk strangles the Abomination, but Betty tells him to stop, and he does. He takes off and somehow loses all the cops in the army looking for him on the island.
That's impossible.
He then runs away where he learns to control his anger by becoming Canadian. Ross is at a bar getting drunk where he gets a visit from Tony Stark, and he tells him about the Avengers.
What happened to Blomsky?
Honestly, I have no idea because Universal won't hand over the rights for us to finish the story.
So he just leaves Abomination alive so that Ross can make more monsters?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not what you've done, it's what you're gonna do.
You're gonna like and you're gonna subscribe, or I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
I didn't say I was unwilling.
I will never forgive what you've done to him. It's okay. It's okay.